Good afternoon. This is a news update on Dominion Television Ibadan. I am Usaranama Saba. President Bola Tinubu has called for an end to incessant strikes in all stages of education in Nigeria. The president made the call at the inauguration of governing boards for the National Universities Commission (NUC), the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC), 5 federal universities, 11 federal polytechnics, and 10 federal colleges of education. The president, represented by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, at the event held in Abuja, as Nigeria and France signed a $40 million blueprint on ICT development towards the digital transformation of the country's university system. Inaugurating the boards on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, the Education Minister Tunji Alausa tasked the newly appointed boards of UBEC, NUC, 5 federal universities, 11 federal polytechnics, and 10 federal colleges of education to maintain decorum and be intentional about developing the country's education.
This interconnected world, education must no longer be seen as a local commodity. Transnational education provides a pathway for Nigeria to establish connections with reputable global knowledge systems.
Former Nasarawa State Governor Tanko Almakura, chairman of the UBEC board, accepted the appointment on behalf of others.
Sincerely thank Mr. President and thank you immensely for the confidence of us.
In another development, Nigeria and France have signed a blueprint on ICT development funded through a $40 million grant from the French Development Agency, and it will be implemented in 10 selected federal universities, cutting across Nigeria's 6 political zones.
Blueprint project brings teaching and learning into the digital age, not symbolically, but practically and structurally.
This is a milestone that reflects the shared vision between the National Universities Commission and the French Development Agency for inclusive and sustainable development through digital innovation in the education system.
According to the Nigerian government, the initiative is a critical component of the broader reform strategy first articulated by the NUC in 2018 through its revitalization blueprint for Nigerian universities. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced a significant milestone in the development of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project. According to the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, the pipeline has successfully crossed the River Niger, paving the way for the project's completion by fourth quarter 2025. Speaking at the 24th NOG Energy Week in Abuja, Ojulari attributed the achievement to effective contract re-engineering and industry collaboration. This development is expected to boost the nation's energy infrastructure and enhance gas distribution across the country. Former Vice President of Nigeria Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President David Mark, and other prominent members of the People's Democratic Party have called on other members of the PDP and opposition party to join a coalition to unseat the Bola Tinubu-led All Progressives Congress in the 2027 general elections. The group, which said this in a communique after the meeting under the name of Concerned Leaders of the People's Democratic Party, says vested interest from within and irresponsible actions of the APC-led federal government, which it says has been using state institutions to stifle and destroy Nigeria's democracy, knows no bounds. It says the inability of PDP to lead the party by its constitution, rules and regulations led it into a chaotic and undisciplined party, and without a strong opposition, Nigeria is now a diminished country and an embarrassment on the world stage. According to anonymous sources, the meeting presided by former Senate President David Mark is a platform for the PDP leaders to fully integrate into the proposed 2027 coalition party. The meeting, which was also tagged Gathering of PDP's Eminent Leaders, held at Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, is part of ongoing consultations ahead of the formal unveiling of a coalition platform to challenge President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. The funeral of the late Nigerian billionaire Aminu Dantata was held in Medina, Saudi Arabia, with final rites attended by a large gathering of family, friends, and business associates from around the world. The ceremony was also attended by a high-level delegation from the Nigerian government, including representatives from the state and federal levels. The presence of such a distinguished group of mourners is a testament to the late billionaire's impact on business and society. Aminu Dantata's legacy as a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist has left an indelible mark on the business community and beyond. His contributions to various causes and charitable endeavors have been widely recognized, and his passing has been met with an outpouring of tributes and condolences from across the globe. The funeral ceremony in Medina served as a fitting tribute to his life and achievements. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that Israel has agreed to the necessary conditions to finalize a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said that during the proposed ceasefire, the U.S. would work with all parties to end the war. Israel has not confirmed it has agreed to the conditions of a deal, and there was no immediate comment from Hamas. Trump's announcement comes before a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's scheduled next week meeting, in which the U.S. president has said he would be very firm. The U.S. president said that he believed Netanyahu wanted to end hostilities in Gaza. Spain and England have recorded their hottest June ever as scorching temperatures continue to grip Europe. Spain's weather service, EMET, said the extremely hot June, with an average temperature of 23.6 Celsius, have pulverized records, surpassing the normal average for July and August. In England, the Met Office said June's mean temperature of 16.9 Celsius set a new record for that month, while the UK as a whole saw its second warmest June since records began in 1884. Mainland Portugal experienced a record daily temperature for June of 46.6 Celsius. The monthly average data is yet to be released. Wildfires in Turkey forced the evacuation of tens of thousands of people, while 2 people died in Italy following separate heat-related deaths. The Dalai Lama confirmed on Wednesday that he will have a successor to carry on the role of spiritual leadership to Tibetan Buddhists in a statement issued during continuing celebrations to mark his 90th birthday. He said the leaders of Tibet's spiritual traditions, members of the Tibetan parliament and government in exile, both of which are in the Indian district of Dharamshala, and Buddhists from around the world, including mainland China and Tibet, had written to him requesting that the institution continue. His statement, issued at a time when Buddhist scholars and revered monks from around the world have converged on McLeodganj town in Dharamshala, where the Dalai Lama lives, to participate in the 90th birthday celebrations. The town, also known as Little Lhasa, because it is in effect the capital of Tibetan Buddhists in exile, will also host an intense 3-day religious conference that the Dalai Lama will preside over. Jihadist fighters have launched a series of simultaneous attacks on military posts across numerous towns in Mali, the 3rd major assault on the army over the last month. Mali's army said it repelled Tuesday morning's attacks, allegedly neutralizing more than 80 militants, without saying if there were any other casualties. However, Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, an Al-Qaeda-linked group who said it was behind the attacks, said it had taken control of 3 army barracks. For more than a decade, Mali has been wrecked by a deadly Islamist insurgency as well as attacks from separatist movements. Well, that ends the news this afternoon. I am Osaranoma Saba. Thank you for listening.